Good morning, students. Welcome back to Atmiya Green School. I am Afrin Sayed, your English teacher. Today, students, we are going to start with our chapter 3 from your Unit 3 Real Life Heroes. From your Unit 3 Real Life Heroes, we are starting section 1, that is the one who survived, that is Ada Black Jack. Okay, so we all have always listened the story of bravery and the story of doing something more extraordinary, something courageous. And here we have the story of a real life hero. Her name is Ada Blackjack. Okay, now the Ada Blackjack has survived. She was the woman who looked adversity in the eye and won. She was the woman who looked adversity into the eye and won. Okay, now in the days where before we start with the chapter, I'll give you the summary. In the days when large parts of the earth had not been explored and seafaring was very fraught, four men and women set out for a voyage. The three men, Frederick Maurer, Elon Knight, Alan R. Crawford, set out under the leadership of Stephenson to discover new land and conquer them. So, who were the three men? Frederick Maurer, Elon Knight, Alan R. Crawford, under the leadership of Stephenson. Okay, so they were out to discover the new land. The spirit of adventure and lure of Virgin Islands drove them, whereas the fourth member, a woman named Ada Blackjack, she was married in a very early age. Okay, now after whereas a woman whose name was Ada Blackjack, who was married in a very early age, undertook the perilous journey to resuscitate her ailing son battling with the TB. So why she went for this voyage? Because she wants to save her son who was battling with the TB. Now what unfolded during the voyage is both saddening and heartening. Ada was born in year 1898. Ada was born in a year 1898. Curiously, she avoided going out to play with other children, preferring to stay indoors to household chores to help her grandma. So usually what happens when we are young, when we are little kids, we always wonder sorry students, we always want to go outside and play. But here Ada Blackjack is not like any other children. She likes to stay home and help her grandmother in household chores. The exuberance of a youngster was missing in her. By 1921, Ada had married and become a mother, but sadly sorry, extremely sorry, had lost two of her babies. So she had already lost two of her babies. The 5-year-old Bennett lay in bed, afflicted by a TB. So her little child, who was 5-year-old, whose name was Bennett, was affected by TB. Woefully short of money, Ada could ill afford good medical care for her sick son. She could do nothing but bemoan her fate. So she was so poor that she could not afford a good medication for her child. So what all she can do was only see that how unlucky she was and how her fate was. So she has nothing left with her except crying. At this point of time entered Stephenson, the leader of expedition. He made a proposal to Ada. Stephenson needed a help who would accompany the 4 young sailors aboard the ship. She had to do cooking, mending clothes and other such sundry works. Could she accompany the expedition? Asked Stephenson, as Ada was very good cook too, and she was very much well with the sorry, she was very much well equipped with her household chores. But Ada had her leg tied to Bennett's sick bed. She could never leave him to die. She was lost in thoughts. Stephenson made an enticing offer. He would make arrangement for Bennett's comprehensive medical care to turn him around till Ada returned. So what Stephenson gives, Stephenson says that if you come with us, if you come along with us, if you accompany us on this expedition, then I'll take care of your child's medical unless and until you return. Now, Ada weighed the offer and concluded the medical care was vital for her sick son. So, she could bear the separation from her son for some time if it could ensure his recovery from TB. Now, she would also get her remuneration. With mind and girlfriend torment, she agreed to Stephenson's offer to work as a cook and seamster for Arctic expedition. Stephenson was delighted. On 21st September, the group set out for Wrangel Island. They set out for the Wrangel Island. Initially, the other members of the group felt Ada was too frail to stand the cold hazardous journey. But Ada showed remarkable determination and resilience. They agreed. Sorry. Stephenson saw off the group, assuring that the place they were heading to was awash with the wildlife. The young man could hunt them for the meat. Stephenson had 6 months' ration loaded on the ship. Now they had enough food that they can survive. Additionally, he assured that he would send another supply ship after 6 months to replenish the stock. The ship Silver Wave left the port. Soon on the boat, the ship Bennett's memory began to haunt Ada. She consoled herself, thinking that it was more important for Bennett to stay alive than her remaining close to him. Of course, a mother would always miss her child, so she was missing her, but she knew that it was important for his existence. If she want her child to survive, if she want that her child live long, then it was very much necessary that he take care of her, and she has to live a few days without him. Now, the expedition landed in the island. Unlike their earlier assumption, the island turned out to be vast swathe of land, not a tiny patch. Ada made up her mind to stick to her assigned work, sewing and cooking. The young men decided to begin hunting from the next day. It was 1922. Spring arrived. Life was rather easy for members of the expedition. There was games aplenty for hunting. Seals, polar bears, ducks, geese provided plentiful of the much needed meat for consumption in desolate cold land. The crew decided to build a snow house for a shelter to keep warm. Things started to take a turn for the worse. Lone Knight returned to the camp after swimming across the Skeleton River. The cold water and the exhaustion took their toll. Lone felt uneasy. Now the member Lone, he was feeling uneasy because of very cold. Soon he was taken ill. No amount of care and nourishing could revive him. His condition went from bad to worse. The members of the crew began to worry stock of essential items like sugar, coffee, bean, flour, and reached critically low level. Lone showed no sign of recovery. His morale was low, as he felt he could not pull it through. Ada was with her words of comfort, but Lone had slipped past. Sorry. Past the threshold, doom and despondency was in the air. One of the crew members suggested that they could cross the icy Chukchi Sea to reach the land where they could seek help for themselves and beleaguered comrades left behind. In other words, they mulled over the idea of expedient escape from the camp. Lone's condition deteriorated fast, leaving him to the care of Ada. Now they have left Lone with the Anna and the three other crew members left the camp for their onwards journey. The demure Ada could neither dimmer nor vent her anxiety because she didn't know to hunt. It was January 1923. Crawford, Mail, and Gorer headed for Siberia, crossing the Chukchi Sea. Ada did her best to instill some confidence in ailing Lone, but his condition was too grim for her kind words to have salutary effect. There was no food to eat. It was a desperate situation. Starvation loomed over the duo and one critically ill. The other a frail woman with a little skill to gather food in those hostile cold surroundings. Ada pulled herself up and decided to go a hunting. Lone protested, but Ada said she would do it anyhow. She managed to kill a few animals, could fend off starvation. Tragedy befell again. Lone passed away, leaving Ada heartbroken and alone. There was no trace of the three men. The gaulish and wilderness ignored her relentlessness, but she refused to capitulate. She thought of Bennett and drew comfort from the fact that he must be recovering fast. So, all the hope and all the strength she was gathering was only because of her son. She had a reason to stay alive. She kept the fire burning in her tent inside her. The fire of hope and energy remained aglow. Despair and despondency began to recede. She clung to her life and spirit. On August 23, 1923, a merchant ship named Donaldson laid anchor in the shore. The sailors took good care of Ada. By then half starved, battered by the cold, her ordeal was finally over. When she reached home, she was treated like a hero. She became darling of the media, who gave her front page coverage. She was invited to gatherings to recount her struggle with the adversity and elements. Felicitation flowed from all quarters. Ada narrated her learning experience, how she studied maps and how she hunted foxes with the help of traps. Her story became inspiring saga of struggle and survival. With her accumulated salary, she took her fit and fine son to settle to start a new life. She declared that the spirit of adventure was still alight in her. The indomitable Ada finally went to Arctic and made it her home. Yes, this was the story. Now, students, if I was very much clear with the story and summary, we saw that how a household lady had become a survivor, had become a warrior for her lonely and ill child. So we'll read over here the one who survived Ada Blackjack. Characters: the expedition members included Frederick Morer, Elon Knight, both 28-year-old American, and Milton Gilt, 20, another American. It also included Canadian Alan R. Crawford, also 20, and Stephenson, designated as group leader. Last and not least, the expedition party had a young Inuit woman, Ada, about 23. The year 1898. A daughter is born to you. We will call her Ada. So, when was Ada born? She was born on 1898. Where is Where is Ada? She seldom comes out to play. She must be washing or cooking or sewing. So, as mentioned in summary, what I said that during her from her childhood days itself, she used to wash, cook, or sew. Grandma, look at the fur coat that I have stitched. You are good and talented child, Ada. You'll make a fine woman when you are grown up. So what does she say? Her grandmother says that you'll make up a very fine woman. You'll because she was very good with the household work. It is 1921. Now it is 1921. The intervening years have been hard for Ada. Her marriage has dissolved and she has lost two of her children. So she has lost two of her children, and now she was left with only one child who was 5-year-old son. Bennett is unwell. Bennett is a boy. I shall not let Bannet die, Ada says. Her grandmother says, but Ada, what will we do? We are poor, we have no money, and little food. You can only sew. What job will you do? So her grandmother says that little Ada, how you are going to save your child? We don't have any money. We are so poor, and the only thing you know is to sew, and sewing cannot make a lot of money. A few days later, a ray of hope came. May I come in? Hello, I'm Wilhelmina Stephenson. I'm an Arctic explorer. Sorry, explorer. Come in, please. Ada says. Ada, I'm sending 4 men to explore the Arctic. They will need a cook and a seamstress. I hear you are skilled at both cooking and sewing. So I have come to make you an offer. So here Stephenson is giving offer that Ada, I am sending people for the expedition. Would you like to accompany them? I wish to colonize Wrangel Island north of Siberia. I know your son is ill. I will get him the best medical treatment and pay you too. So what he is offering, that if you go with my man on the expedition, if you are going to sew and cook for them, I will take care of your ill child. And listening to this, Ada has become happy that okay, my child will at least get a good treatment. I will go, sir, for my son. Great, you'll set out on 21st September to build lives on Wrangel Island. You'll be accompanied 4 hardened adventurers, 3 American called Lon Knight, Milton Galley, Fred Morer. So who are the 3 American? Lon Knight, Milton Galley, and Fred Morer, and Canadian called Alan Crawford. I'll be happy to go on this expedition. I can do anything for my son. So she says that I can do anything for my son. Hello, my heroes. This is Ada. She'll accompany you on the expedition. Now Stephenson introduced them with the rest of the 4 men that she is going to accompany you. So people see those 4 expedition men says, but she looks so frail. She'll not survive in cold, Stephenson. So they say that she is so frail that she'll not be able to survive in this cold. So Ada shows the spirit, and Ada says that no, I'll do it because she wants her child to live at any cost. I'll learn how to. So Stephenson says that's the spirit. I'm sure the island is well stocked with the wildlife. I have put for 6 months in the ship. I will send a supply ship in summer. So Stephenson says that your ship is full of food. You can survive easily, and after 6 months, more food will be supplied. Meanwhile, you will have to fend yourselves. Good luck, my friends. Oh, I miss my son. Ada is missing. Ada is feeling lonely. And of course, a mother in her will always miss her child and always be worried about her child. Like when we go out of our houses, our mother's eyes always stick on the door, that when my child will come, is she fine, or do she had any do she had anything to eat, she would be fine or not. So all such thoughts are going on in a mother's mind. So just like that, Ada is also worried about Bannet. Oh, I miss my son, but if I refuse to go with them, who will cook and sew for them? Also, Bannet needs round the clock medical attention. I will keep my word. This island is very big. They would say it would be small one. It won't be fair to cry. I have to sew clothes and shoes for the men as soon as possible. We have made it. Hooray! Let's pitch our tents. So she says that this is a very big place, and if they say that this is a little place, then it would be not fair. And she says that it is so cold that I have to sew some clothes and shoes as soon as possible for this man. Rest 4 of them are very happy that they have reached, and they are saying that now they will make some tents to live. We must start hunting for food tomorrow. Meat is in plenty. We must build a snow house now. Yes, that will keep us protected. So what does they say? They say that they have enough meat to eat, and they need us know how to protect themselves. So one day, Lon Knight falls ill. So Lon falls it ill. So he is very sick. He because of the cold weather, he was not able to survive. I had gone out to explore. I swam across the Skeleton River. I am not feeling very well. I'm just the weather alone. I shall make some soup for you. It will keep you warm and soon you will be fine. So Ada says that don't worry, Lone. I'll prepare some soup for you, and by drinking or by having that soup, you'll be absolutely fine. Months later, it is evident that Lon is not suffering from ordinary fever. Now it was very much clear that he was not suffering from an ordinary fever. Other concerns began to mount. We are already running short of tea, coffee, flour, bean, and sugar. So all the basic items were getting over. Winter is setting in. The ships have still not arrived, and our supplies are dwindling. So what they say is that winter is on the hand, and our supplies are still not there, and our stock is also getting over. Now it was a situation where they need to worry about, because they were gradually they were the food was getting over. Don't know. I'm so unwell. I don't know if I will survive. So what does he say? That he is so unwell that he will not able to survive. How now? And sorry. Don't Ada says that don't lose heart, Lone. You'll be well soon. I'll look after you. How long can we live like this? We'll all perish. I think you are right. We should immediately seek help. So what does they say? That how long we are going to survive like this? One day we'll get perish. So the other person says that yes, you are right. We need to go and seek help. Alan, let's cross the icy Chucky sea. So they say that let's cross the sea and reach the Siberian mainland. I can't even sit up, Lon says. Don't worry, Lon, we'll get help. I'll sit back and look after Lon. Now, Ada says that I'll sit back and I'll look after the Lon. On January 1923, Crawford, Galley, and Morer left to traverse the icy Chucky Sea in order to reach the Siberian mainland. Months pass without any news. Don't worry, they'll be back anything now. I shall hunt. Now she says that we don't have anything to eat, so I will hunt. So he says that Lon says, I fear I have developed scurvy and there is nothing left to eat. So she says that I'll learn, but you don't know how to. So he says, Lon says, but you don't know how to hunt. So Ada shows the spirit and says, no, I will learn that how to hunt. Unfortunately, Lon dies, leaving Ada alone. Now Ada is alone and Lon dies. With Alan, Milton, and Fred gone, I have learned to fend for myself. But with Lon dead, how long I can survive here all alone and hunting food? So she says that because all three men have already gone, I have learned that how to survive. But as Lon has already died, how am I going to survive here all alone? There has been no news of the three men. Lon is dead. His death has left me so utterly lonely. What shall I do in the ice-bound wilderness with no food or anyone by my side? But beneath is getting much needed care. I must keep this fire going. So what does she do? Now she is very lonely. She is very worried that how she is going to survive and how she is so lonely. So she says that I'll keep the fire. And on 23rd August 1923, Ada, half-starved, spots the ship Donaldson. Ada, where are your companions? So Donaldson says that, where are your companions? They have never returned for months. Please take me home. So she says that my companions have not returned for the months. Please take me home. When Ada returned, people ask, how did you survive? Where you are? Were you a trained hunter? So Ada says, no, not at all. It's only when I was solely responsible for Lon and myself that I trained myself to hunt. ऐसा बोलते हैं ना कि जब हालात सब कुछ सिखा देते हैं, इवन इफ़ यू डोंट नो एनीथिंग टू डू, इफ़ यू आर नॉट अवेयर अबाउट दैट थिंग्स, बट if situations are tough, if circumstances are not good, then at that time people get to learn things, people start learning with things. So just like that, Ada has also learned things. How did you train yourself? I followed the map Morer had left behind. So what she says, that she followed the so sorry students. So she says that Morer has left a map for her. One day I saw some fox specks circling around the traps and realized it was too deeply buried. So I laid the trap again and left it uncovered. Next morning I found a fox caught in a trap. I figured things out as I went along. So she was narrating that how she hunted the flock of fox. Truly an incredible story, Ada. Thank you. I'm just taking my expedition salary to take my son Sittle so I can give him a good life. So she took the salary from the expedition people. Have you always been very brave? I don't know about that, but I would never give up hope while I'm still alive. Also, I had to do for my son Bennett. So they say that you have always been this brave. So Ada says that no, I don't know, but I know one thing, that I will do anything to to keep my son alive, and I will never let my hope die. So hope is something which can help a person to live, that can help a person to fight against all the circumstances which come into the way. Would you like to go exploring again? One day I would like to see what the North Pole looks like. So she says that one day I would surely go and see that how North Pole looks like. Now finally Ada did return to Arctic and eventually made it her home. Now she made Arctic as her home, and even Bennett was fine, and she fought bravely, and with all the hopes and with all the difficulties in her life, she fought like a warrior, she fought like a brave person, and saved the life of her child, as well as she never the spirit and determination of never giving up made Ada the survivor. I hope it is very much clear to you all students. Okay, students, I'll be sending you a question and answers of both the chapters, uh, and you have to copy those question and answers into notebook. Thank you so much. Have a very good day. Take care of yourself as well as of your families.